On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, reviews and testimonials, why they're important and how to get them. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And today's episode is made possible by freevideoeditor.co. If you're looking to start doing video editing but you don't want to spend all that money on Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro, well, we've got a free option for you at freevideoeditor.co. You can start editing like a pro today, and we even have a whole bunch of goodies that should help you to edit like a true professional. So with that, are you ready, Steve?
Hit that funky music, Ray boy.
All right, here we go.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy. And I'm Steve Sleeper on the Show radio network. And we're also on all your favorite podcatchers and YouTube, so catch us there if you need to.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And, of course, we record this as a Facebook Live every Thursday at about 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Ray's still unpacking, so he's using his Yeti now, but he'll get everything after the big move to Atlanta. And you were in Salt Lake and Vegas for a while. So
Yes, I was. In fact, part of why we're talking about what we're talking about today is some of the things that we heard in Vegas from some of the brightest minds in the video marketing and local marketing world. And so we're going to share some of that today, and it should be a lot of fun. Take notes. Take notes.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. I'll put these in the show notes. So what show was in Vegas?
It was the Ungagged show. Ungagged.
And what's that?
Well, it's a show that teaches people high-level SEO and local marketing and all that other fun stuff. So essentially, I sat there looking baffled through half of it and then took notes for the rest of it. So
I feel your pain. But
yes.
Reviews and testimonials. That sounds good. Hit it, Ray.
All right, so the reason we're talking about reviews and testimonials today is because they are truly one of the most important things you can do for a local business or really for any product or service. And we're talking about reviews on places like Google Place, called the Google Places. Google My Business. They change the name of that every week, so it's no longer, hasn't been Google Places in a couple of years, but now it's Google My Business for the last 2 years or 3 years, however long it's been. So that's one of the most important places, but also on places like Amazon if you have a product, Yelp, all the other ones that you can think of out there that Merchant Circle and different places, plus any that fall in your particular niche, even Angie's List, all those places you need to have the good reviews. You need those stars in order to really grow your business. And when we were at this conference, one of the big things they talked about were the reviews and how important they are to the businesses these days. In fact, they called reviews one of the most important factors you can possibly have for getting new business. So if you're a local marketer, if you're a local business, if you've got a product, you got to get those reviews, and you got to get those high-level reviews. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how to get those reviews. And then, of course, we're going to talk about some video testimonial stuff, because that is also a huge factor from a social standpoint in getting some of your products sold and your phone number ringing and all that other fun stuff. So, Steve, what do you think is important when it comes to these reviews? I mean, what for you is the impact of having these reviews?
Well, certainly a 5-star review is going to help you quite a bit. That's going to help get you in the 3-pack on Google. And along with that 5-star review, of course, you want some content. Ray the Video Guy has a nice haircut. He's the greatest video marketer I've ever seen. He's helped me do this. He's helped me do that. And what people are looking for, and I'm being a little sarcastic here, but what people are looking for is what their neighbors and friends are saying about an attorney or a dentist or any kind of Main Street business. So they want to know what you've said, and then those 5 stars are going to help you move up in Google and get you into the 3-pack. That and geography. Now, I got to admit, Ray, what I know is Google My Business pretty well. Things like Yelp, Angie's List, that type of thing, I don't pay that much attention to. I'm not saying that you should. I'm just saying I haven't. So this would be good stuff.
And they all fall into the same categories there as far as getting the reviews. To me, I also think, that the Google My Business is probably the most important for most businesses, but certainly for a lot of businesses, Yelp is going to be a big part of that. And the reason that Yelp is such an important thing is we often think of Google My Business as, people are going to Google, they're searching plumber, they're getting the plumbers listed, and you get in that 3-pack under the maps there, which used to be a 7-pack, and then a 5. Now it's only 3. Only 3 businesses get to be on that map, on that page 1 of Google, which is crazy. So you need to have the reviews there. But here's something people don't think about very often, and that is, the iPhone uses Yelp as their system for doing search. When you talk to Siri, when you go to Maps and you try to search a business, it's actually Yelp that is providing the content there, not Google My Business. So in other words, you search restaurant, well, guess what is going to be the biggest factor there in what restaurants you see at the top? Well, it's going to be the Yelp reviews. Whereas on Google itself, it's going to be the Google My Business reviews. In Apple products, it's going to be the Yelp reviews.
Which more people have iPhones than Droids, so... Yeah.
Well, no, that's not really true. It's pretty close.
Oh, it's not? It is now.
There's more people with Droids than iPhones, but still, we're talking about, 40% still out there that have iPhones and iPads. You count in iPads, it's even greater than that. So you definitely need to be in Yelp. You need to get the reviews there as well as on Google My Business. And the question is, how important is this particular factor? Well, it's funny. The other day, I had to start looking for a new accountant. Now that I'm out in Georgia, I wanted to have one that's local. I've had one that's online for the last couple of years. I haven't been super happy with the response I've gotten from them when I've needed things and whatnot. So I wanted to have somebody local. And I went to Google and I searched, and wouldn't you know it, without even thinking about it, I picked the one that had the most 5-star reviews. And then I stopped and said, oh, look, see, this does work. Unconsciously, I went after the person with the 5-star reviews. Not only that, but they were, of course, in the A spot on the maps. And the crazy thing was, they didn't have a lot of reviews. They had like 3. 3 5-star reviews, and that was it. And some of the other ones had none. They had no reviews whatsoever. Hadn't even claimed their Google My Listing page. So when you think about how long Google has been doing Google My Business, Google Plus Local, Google Places, whatever they want to call it each and every week, this has been around forever, and yet still almost all of the accountants in my area had not even claimed their business listing, let alone gone out and gotten a single review. A couple of them had 1 or 2 reviews and things, but this was the only one that had 3 reviews, and 3 is nothing. So you got to understand that it's very, very important to get these reviews. And, in that real world situation there, I picked the person who had the best reviews. That's what most people are going to do. A spot, most reviews. And I started to do a little bit of research in my area, in other areas, and I really, based on the things that I learned this last week when they were talking so heavily about this, I did a lot of searches, and sure enough, almost, I won't say every time, because one of the big factors with Google My Business is location, and people don't think about that. It used to be, if you were in whatever town, you were in, Milwaukee, then all the businesses in Milwaukee fight to be in the A spot. Well, nowadays, if you're on the east side of Milwaukee, then guess what? The ones that are in the east side are going to more likely be in that A, B, and C spot than the ones on the opposite side of the city.
Right.
So even though they're in the same city, the actual geographic distance is now a major factor in that. You can't control that, obviously. People have tried. They've tried to fake addresses, and then they get banned completely. So don't do that. But point being, that's a major factor. The other factors are the reviews being hugely important there. And, obviously, if you can ABC, you don't see reviews, people will look at the maps. They'll see what other people have. But for the most part, what I've noticed was that the highest star reviews were in those A, B, and C spots. Occasionally, that wasn't the case just because maybe one business was much closer than others. But for the most part, it was the most stars had the highest rankings. And, that's exactly what these guys were talking about in our conference in Vegas. So it's very, very important to do that. Now, the question is, how do you get more stars and more reviews? Well, unfortunately, it's not always super easy. You need to put some effort into this. Now, fortunately, it's not incredibly hard. There are ways to do it. In fact, we've even got a platform that we'll be talking about in a couple of weeks that we'll really be talking about that's going to help you to get a ton of reviews. We've been testing it, and literally we've seen where we can get multiple reviews in 24 hours from past customers. So it's
Google?
a very, very good program. On Google, yeah.
On Google. Okay, well, that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been able to do that and seen it with my own eyes. And we've been able to get those reviews literally overnight. And the biggest way you're going to get reviews is, of course, to ask your customers. You have to ask them to do it. They're probably not going to do it unless they had a really bad experience. Then they're glad to do it. But for the most part, you have to ask people to do it. Now, you have to be careful with this because, for instance, Yelp, you're not supposed to ask people to give reviews. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to incentivize people on any of the platforms to do this. In fact, you can actually get into trouble for doing it. There are even legal ramifications for incentivizing people to leave a good review. In the old days, we used to tell people, incentivize people to leave a review. Don't tell them it has to be a good one or a bad one or whatever. You can't say, hey, leave us a 5-star review and we'll give you $10 or we'll give you free breadsticks or, your next whatever is free. You can't be doing that kind of stuff. Do people do it? They do it all the time. But people will get caught. And if you do that, you can get removed from Yelp. You can be completely blacklisted on Google. And again, there can be legal ramifications with the FCC for enticing fake reviews and things like that. So you got to be very, very careful. What you want to do is you want to ask your customers to leave reviews. Now, obviously, you want to make sure that you ask the customers who were happy. So you're going to need a way to filter out the happy customers from the customers that may need a little bit of attention before they leave a review. And there's a few different ways to do that. Obviously, if you're collecting leads, you can do emails, you can do phone calls. Get people to leave those reviews on site. For instance, I always tell people, what does everybody have with them at all times? They've got their phone with them at all times. And so if you, if you're a hairdresser and somebody says, wow, I really love the job that you did there. Oh, you know what? Why don't you pull up Google and leave us a review? Tell them right there. Ask them to do it. Because if they got their phone and they do it right there and right then, it's going to get you that review a lot easier than 3 weeks later. Now, in the past, one of the things that some people were doing was putting a computer or an iPad right there where they could leave reviews and stuff. And you don't want to do that. And I'll tell you why. There's a couple of schools of thought on this. One was, well, hey, if they go to Google on that iPad that you got right there for that purpose, then they sign in. It's their account, so it's okay. But, of course, it is still the same IP, same IP, same IP, same IP. So you can get into some troubles there. So you don't want to mess around with that. You basically want to make sure that if you're going to have them do reviews, have them do it on their own phone so that it's not showing up on your IP all the time. It just makes it a lot easier. Ask on Facebook. Get Facebook folks to do this for you, to leave reviews. And speaking of that, by the way, we didn't mention Facebook reviews. That's another one that people neglect a lot. Almost every business out there will go and they will get a Facebook page, but they don't get people to leave reviews there. That's another very important one because people search on Facebook a lot, and on your website, a lot of times you have a Facebook button in there. You want to get some reviews on Facebook so that does, that gives you a lot. Steve, what do you got to say?
A little case study here. I've got an accountant client of mine, and she wanted some help, so I did a little trade with her. And what we found is that when people are looking for an accountant in North Omaha, which is a specific part of town that people search on, she shows up. She's the only one that's got a 5-star review. It's just me. She wasn't really able to get anybody else to leave reviews, except a few people on Facebook did. But what we did is optimized all her Facebook, her Yelp, her Facebook, her Yelp, her Google My Business. They're all optimized properly. They've got some reviews. You know what people find more often than not? is her Facebook page. They go there more often than they go to her website.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah. So and Facebook is important.
And there's another side to that too. I was looking at some stuff the other day. Like I said, I've been looking to see who's got star ratings and whatnot because I've been doing some promotional marketing to people that don't have it in preparation for some of the stuff we're planning on doing. And I noticed that in a few cases, their Google My Business listing is their Facebook page. Mm-hmm. That's what they have in there. And that's actually a very effective strategy. We actually used to do that with YouTube videos. We would actually use the YouTube video or the YouTube channel as the page inside. At the time, it was Google Plus Local or whatever they called it at that time. And that was actually very effective as well. It helped to boost all that stuff. But you got to claim that listing is the big thing. And if you don't know what I mean by that, here's how this works for those of you that are maybe not used to this. Google My Business will go out and they will find your business and they will list your business whether you like it or not. Mm-hmm. The problem is that you have to then go and claim that listing. So in other words, if you're a local business, if you're a plumber and you're listening here right now, go search for your business on the Google Maps and you're probably going to find a Google listing for yourself in there. And if you haven't done anything with it, it's probably going to say, is this your company? Click on that and you can claim that listing, and then that way you can update it, make sure your hours are correct, make sure that you've got pictures in there, add videos, add whatever you want to add in there to make that a much better experience for people that see it. And that's a big deal. You not only want, because people can still leave reviews, by the way, even if you haven't claimed your listing, but you want to claim that listing so you can optimize it, and then you want to get people to leave those 5-star reviews. Now, there are some great programs out there that do some pretty cool things. For instance, there are some that what they'll do is they'll poll your customers and say, hey, what did you think of your experience here? And they'll give you feedback. And then if, for instance, their feedback is 3 stars, well, then you send them to a thing that says, well, we noticed you said 3 stars. What can we do to help and make this a 5-star experience? And then you follow up and you fix whatever the problem was. If they say, oh, it was a 5-star experience, well, then what you say immediately, they get a thing that says, great, why don't you put this on Yelp or on Google My Business? And so then they'll go out there and they'll put their 5-star review on there. And it kind of weeds out potential lower star listings on your Google Plus, or Google My Business page and on your Yelp page by kind of weeding some of those people that didn't have a great experience out, so that you can then follow up with them, make sure they have a great experience, and then hopefully they'll leave a 5-star review later. So that's one thing that you can do. There's been a number of softwares that have done that over the years. And as I said, we're working on a platform now that we'll be talking about in a couple of weeks that actually helps you to do just that. Helps you not only contact them, but helps them to get the reviews, the good reviews, and really boosts that up there, because it's very, very important. Whether it's Facebook, Google My Business, or Yelp, or any of the other sites, it's definitely a big factor to be able to do that. And again, for those of you that aren't local businesses, if you've got products that you sell on Amazon, you need to have those 5-star reviews on Amazon. You might have a product page on Facebook for your product. You need to have those 5-star reviews there as well. It's only going to help you to sell more products. So you have to go out and you have to try and get people to do this. And of course, reputation management. We run into a lot of companies who one mad customer puts out 1-star review slamming you to death. That can kill you for a while. So you need to then get a whole bunch of good reviews to kind of bury that one bad review, unless it's a fake review and you can fight to get it removed. But for the most part, it's going to be there. So you've got to fight to get rid of it. So there's a lot of reasons to elicit these reviews. 1, so that you rank better. 2, to get rid of anything negative and kind of bury it. And 3, just because it's good social proof that's going to help you to sell more of your products, get more phone calls and things like that. So there you go. That's the deal with that. Now, the other half of this that we wanted to talk about was testimonials, because testimonials are another big factor that can really help to grow your business. It goes right along with the reviews. A written review and a 5-star rating is fantastic. You get somebody to actually do a video for your business saying how great an experience they had. That's another major factor that can really help your business in a lot of ways. 1, it's content for your YouTube channel. You put that content on your YouTube channel, it's going to help to raise that YouTube channel overall, help to rank some of those videos. People are going to find that video and they're going to see these testimonials. 2, it's content for your website. if you've got an area of testimonials and you've got videos on there, people will see those automatically. Facebook, you get to post them on Facebook and really show off some of the great things that you guys are doing, how happy people are. So there's a lot of great things you can do with that. So the question is, how do you do these testimonials? Do you just let people make testimonials for you? Well, yeah, you can let people make testimonials for you, but I suggest you go the extra step and ask them to do testimonials and ask them to do it a certain way. And the reason is, psychologically, there are some great ways to do these types of videos, and there are some ways that aren't as effective. You don't want to have those ineffective ones. If the testimonial is literally somebody going, yeah, I went to John, he's awesome, yeah, we love him, oh yeah, my whole family loves him, he's great. Well, that can be said about anything. They could be talking about his barbecues, and as opposed to his plumbing work. Maybe you go to his barbecues and you think he's a great guy. We want testimonials. When we get testimonials for our clients, we want testimonials that actually get people to make a sale or to make a purchase. And the way that we do that is we actually have a formula for creating these testimonials that we use, and it goes a little bit something like this. You want to have the person talk about what life was like before they found your product or service, okay, what the problem was, and then you want them to say what was done, what change did you make, and that change being you called, Johnny Smith Plumbing, whatever. And then finally, what was the end result of that? So how was it like, what was it like before, what did you do to make the change, and how did it change afterwards? So in other words, let's say it's a plumbing video testimonial. You're going to have the person say, hey, I'm John, and I had this major flood in my house, and it caused all sorts of problems, and there was damage, and it was just getting worse and worse by the day. Then I called John Smith Plumbing. They came out right away. They fixed the problem, and now my house is beautiful, and it sold for $1 million, and everybody's happy, and flowers are growing everywhere. So that's the kind of thing you want to do. You want to have that progression of what was bad before, what did you do to make the change, which is usually calling that company or buying that product, and then what was the final result of that. That's going to help you to not only get a lot of really good testimonials, but it's just going to, every time somebody sees one of those testimonials, they can put themselves in the shoes of that person and really make an informed decision. And that's what we really want out of this, is we want people to make informed decisions. And so that's a great way to do it. So how do you get them to do the testimonials? You ask them, you give them that blueprint, tell them exactly what you want to have in that testimonial, and then just have them do it with their phone. It doesn't have to be done, in front of a fancy camera in a studio or anything else. It can be done from their phone. In fact, that makes it look a little bit more realistic when they do. So it's a great way to make sure that you get a lot out of that. Now, on top of that, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you use that testimonial. Get it everywhere. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your website. Put it in your YouTube channel. Put it onto your social media, platforms. Link to it on Twitter. Whatever you have to do to get that testimonial out there so that people see it, because that's the one thing that really is very important, is that you get people to be all excited about the testimonial that you're putting out there. So that's in a nutshell what you need to do with testimonials. I know we talked on a lot of different things here. Hopefully you guys can remember all this stuff. We're going to have some show notes for this, but the big thing is, if you're a local business or you're a local marketer helping local businesses, get those reviews, get those testimonials. In fact, one thing you can do is, maybe you have a testimonial day. Invite some of the customers to come into the business, have a camera set up, and have them do the testimonials right there for you. Again, don't incentivize them for a good testimonial, but of course, if you're doing something fun and having them come in for a reason besides just doing that, it can definitely be a big help. Then ask them to leave a testimonial video, and you'll be surprised at some of the great testimonials that you can get out of that. So it's definitely a very big factor for your marketing to have those reviews, to have those star ratings, and to have testimonials to really grow the business. So there you go. I fed you a lot of stuff here. We'll leave it at that. We'll let you guys just kind of digest all of that for this week, and really, the big thing is, of course, take action. You got to get out there and you got to get these reviews. You got to get these testimonials. So take action. Steve, anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think you pretty much covered it, Ray. What Well, I do have something I would add. You covered it, but it's just a little spin on this, if you will. When people are looking for a new accountant, they want to get referrals. They want to get referrals from their friends.
Yep, absolutely.
That word of mouth still exists, but more and more they're looking online for referrals from their friends and neighbors, and so it's the new word of mouth. It's the new referral.
No, absolutely. And one thing you can do is when people do these testimonials, try to get them to share it too. Get them to share it on their social media. Hey, look, I just did a review for this guy. Because that's going to help as well. It's going to get it out there more and get people to really, know who these different service providers are. So if you take that testimonial and you have those people put it out to their social media, it's going to get to a lot more places. Now, there is one other thing I did want to mention that I kind of left out of all this, and that has to do with Instagram. Instagram is extremely popular as well. And as long as your videos are under 60 seconds, you can put your videos on there as well, but also you can put images. You could have images created that show the 5-star review with the text on there. Put those on your Instagram as well. And then, of course, if it makes sense, if it works for your particular business, get pictures of the people when they're happy with this. One great example of this is, right now those escape rooms are extremely popular. And one of the places that they market to oftentimes is Instagram. If you just escaped the room, they'll put they'll put a funny hat that matches the theme, and they'll have you hold signs that say "We escaped," and they put them on Instagram and they put them on Facebook. That's huge for marketing because people share that. It's like, hey, look, I escaped, and they'll share that out. So virally, everything that you put out there, as long as you share that with that client, they're going to turn around and share it because they're proud of what they did. And so it's going to be marketing for you. So think of ways that you can do that. Now, obviously, an escape room is a little bit different than a plumber or a lawyer, but you gotta get creative with these things. Maybe with a plumber, it's like you just remodeled something and you can show that on Instagram and show that the people were happy with what they got out of that. So it's there's a lot of things you can do there, but don't forget the Instagram as well. That's one area that's kind of new for everybody, but definitely an area that can be a big help, especially once you start doing Facebook ads and Instagram ads. You can really start to use some of this stuff. So there you go.
Very good. Very good. How about a Mindset Matters?
I actually don't have one for this week. We'll come back with Mindset Matters next week, so I apologize, folks, for that. But we went nice and long with this stuff anyway, so.
Yeah, no kidding. And you've been gone for a while, and you're still trying to unpack after the big California to Atlanta move.
I know.
Yeah,
it seems like it's been forever, but I've been here, a little over a month, but half of it I've been gone, and part of it was Thanksgiving, so it's been, quite the journey. But of course, today was a great journey as well. Very good. As we like to say, none of the stuff we talk about works unless you do. So you got to get out there and you got to start putting this stuff to practice. If you've got businesses that you work with, if you are a business, go ask somebody today. Grab one of your customers today and say, hey, leave me a review on Google. They'll do it. They'll be glad to do it.
Oh, yeah. And it's the radio show about video Marketing Madness with Ray, the video guy, on the Earn.Show podcast network. And today's show made possible by freevideoeditor.co. You got those testimonials. Now you need to edit them. Well, how about if you do it with a free video editor instead of paying a fortune? And you can do that with freevideoeditor.co, where you can download the Shotcut Video Editor and some of the goodies that we have to help make your videos look more professional. Get started today by going to freevideoeditor.co and leave off the last M for media. Media. Oh, there's
freevideoeditor.co. No M, just CO. So there you go.
We always look at the crawler. We always look at the crawler at the bottom.
M's and people listening to the show probably have no idea what we're talking about, but you got to join us on Facebook Live to catch that on. So anyway, we hope this has been effective for you, and we look forward to giving you another free lesson in the world of video and marketing next week on Video Marketing Madness. For Steve Sleeper, I'm Ray the Video Guy saying get out there and get to work, and let's hit that funky music.
Did you say rap?
Biggie. He's Ray, the video guy. Yeah, Ray, the video guy. His skill is where it's at. Even if he's a little fat, he's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need, you know. He stays sharp like a crease in his pants. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing super sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah. Ray the video guy.